What if the X-Men were the ones who experimented on Wolverine? Well, that is actually the case in Marvel's latest Wolverine comic, Ultimate Wolverine. So strap into your seats, grab a bucket of popcorn, maybe a pack of Zins, I don't know, and get ready for this breakdown. So we start off near the border of the Eurasian Republic in Latveria, with Logan being escorted to his target destination inside of a military aircraft. But as he sits in this plane, the soldiers sitting across from him speak about him among themselves like he's some sort of myth or urban legend, expressing that they heard he was a part of some sort of experiment gone wrong in the North American Union, and some people were spreading rumors that he wasn't a man at all, but a combination of soldiers' corpses who died in combat, and he couldn't die no matter what. It didn't matter if he was shot, stabbed, blown up, he was pretty much unkillable. Anyways, a few moments later when Logan stood up from his seat, both of these guys started panicking out of fear he was gonna kill them, but to their relief he just opened the back of the plane up, then diving out of it immediately after, despite not having a parachute. While soaring down from the sky, he started having flashbacks of a time where his entire body was ripped in half from an explosion. As he tried pulling himself through the woods, an enemy soldier walked right up to him, placed the barrel of his gun on his temple, and pulled the trigger. But when the flashback left his mind, he ended up landing at a church turned into some sort of military facility, immediately killing two soldiers who were standing guard by ripping their bodies in half. After that, he'd start clawing his way inside the church, where it turns out Mystique and Nightcrawler were taking refuge, and upon realizing they were under attack, they readied themselves for battle. But before seeing how the battle plays out, we're taken back to the flashback from earlier. After being shot, Logan was taken to a facility and locked inside of a chamber by Colossus, Omega Red, Magic, and a doctor named Prostovich, who revealed that Logan regenerated from his wounds so quickly earlier that he killed the soldier who shot him in his head. All of them were so impressed with his abilities, they believed he'd be the perfect subject for a skeletal enhancement procedure. This procedure was never successful in the past, but they felt like things would be different with him. And despite how wild and unhinged he seemed, they were confident a telepath could get him under control. And once he was under control, they could use him as the ultimate weapon against the opposition, giving him the nickname Winter Soldier. Now, even though they're called the opposition are good guys, a group of rebels / freedom fighters comprised of humans and mutants alike who fight against Eurasian forces to try freeing mutants who were taken. Which brings us back to Mystique and Nightcrawler, because they're a part of the opposition, and so was Logan once before. That's why he was left mangled in the woods, because corrupt Eurasian forces dropped a bomb on an opposition compound. But after being experimented on and brainwashed by Colossus and all these guys who are a part of the Eurasian Republic, he's determined to kill Nightcrawler and Mystique and all the other opposition who stand in his way. Now, before we continue though, I want to encourage you guys to go subscribe to our YouTube and follow our Instagram. We post content every single day, content that you guys don't see here on TikTok, and if TikTok does end up getting banned, you guys will no longer see my content if you don't follow me on those platforms. Anyways, upon breaking inside of the church, Logan starts killing everything in sight, jamming his claws through heads, stabbing people in their chest, and then hurling them across the room. But sooner or later, Colossus showed up, which was confusing because Colossus wasn't with him earlier. However, as we all know, Logan has a great sense of smell, and he'd actually realized that this wasn't Colossus at all, using his claws to slash him in the neck and revealing that Mystique was using her shape-shifting abilities to trick him. After dealing with her, he confronted Nightcrawler without hesitation. But upon doing so, Nightcrawler tried de-escalating the situation because before Logan was brainwashed, they were friends. Unable to recognize the truth though, Wolverine continued his pursuit, forcing Nightcrawler to start bamfing all over the place while unloading an entire clip into him. But sooner or later, Logan used his sense of smell to his advantage once again, predicting exactly where Nightcrawler was gonna be and then lifting him up into the air as he jammed his claws through his chest. As his last breath approached, Nightcrawler gave one last word, telling Logan he was sorry for not reaching him in time, but they still came back for him. After that, Logan left the church, boarded the plane, and began making his way back to the Eurasian facility, but sadly that's where our issue comes to an end. But if you want to see what happens with Ultimate Wolverine next, let me know in the comments down below.